Yes, Espedia. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. I hope your day and your week and your weekend have been going very well so far. In ancient times, the oracle was a source of wisdom and fortune telling for the people. In modern times, he just gives out really good football picks. Welcome back to the Oracle. Welcome back to Guy Boston Sports Guys. Got a really great Week 10 NFL slate coming up for you. But first, as always, people, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. It helps the channel grow, and it really does mean a ton to us. With a new week of NFL football comes some new opportunities to go ahead and make some money. So, we're going the same format we had last week. I got some positive feedback. I think you guys like the layout, so we're going to do it again, and we're going to stick with it for the rest of the year. That layout is our three categories: third and long, second and short, first and goal, 4 picks each category. So I have 12 straight bets in today's video, followed by our parlays and teasers. Now, very quickly, before we dive into today's picks, a quick little recap of how we did last week, and we finally had our first massive week of the NFL season. Almost at college football, NFL season. By no means have we had a bad year, but last week was the first time where the seas parted and we had an amazing day. You look at a lot of the cash, a lot of green. As you can see here on the screen, we had a lot of parlays, a lot of teasers here. Overall, last week we had 7-4. We gained just shy of 2 units. We're now 59 and 55 on the year. Now we are still down 5 units in the straight bet category because I took some big swings in the first few weeks of the season that cost us dearly. But we have handed out more winners than losers, and we are going to break even and make profit by the end of the year in the straight bet category, single bet category, that I promised you. However, despite that category being negative 5 units, parlays, we are now up over 24, just shy of 25 units on the year. We had another parlay last week, 4.75 units gained. In our teaser category, also up over 5 units. So yes, the single bet category has not been great, but overall we are up over, what is that, 24 units total profit on the show. So we've been having a very strong NFL season. Obviously, parlays and teasers kind of carrying us right now. But we did finally break onto the scene last week, and I think we can go ahead and build on what was a very good week last week and do even better this week. Let's go ahead and get started here. Our Week 10 NFL picks coming at you right now. All right, guys, starting off here with our third and, wrong graphic. Apologies for that. Third and long category here. This is the 4 picks that, again, I like all my picks in this slate, but in terms of a confidence ranking, these are on the lower scale of the 12 picks I have. I still like them, but there are picks I love more than these ones. Still value, though. And to reiterate, third and long, we put 3/4 of a unit, so 0.75 units on these plays. Second and short, we put a full unit. And then first and goal, which are my favorite 4 picks of the week, I put 1.25 units on. So that also is the reason we do the segments, different amount of units bet. And so for our first pick in today's video, and our first pick of the third and long category, we are looking at the Falcons-Colts game, 9:30 a.m. kickoff on Sunday. I'm going Atlanta on the spread here, plus 7.5. Now, I will be honest, a little bit of juice here. You do see the best odds available to me are ESPN bet minus 145. So, a little juice play here. I know a lot of people are going to look at this and say, wait, you have to minus 145 and you're on Atlanta? Not a lot of people are going to love that. I understand. It's why it's in the third and long category. But I do definitely lean Falcons in this spot. First and foremost, the most obvious reason to me is the fact that this is an international game. And these international games have tended to be closer. Now, that's not the case for every game. But you're overseas in Germany. As someone who travels to Europe every year, I go to see my family in Greece. It's not an easy trip. And that's going for vacation and hanging out by the beach and drinking Coronas. Or, in my case, Mythos. These guys are traveling all those hours, granted on a better flight situation than probably myself, and then they go right to work. And so it's a very different atmosphere. You got jet lag, the time zone change. If you're not used to that, it is jarring. Like I said, it's very jarring. So those things do matter. You're in a neutral field, no home field advantage. I think Atlanta can hang around here. They did play well enough to, I think, beat the Patriots last week. Unfortunately, missed extra point. Kicking woes continue for Atlanta. Some missed opportunities in that game, but they played well enough to keep it close, to cover the spread, and played well enough to, I think, win that game. New England was lucky to escape with a victory. Atlanta's been a really weird team this year. They've been up and down. They've won some games where I don't know how they won. The Bills game, for example, the Commanders game. Granted, I think Mariota was starting that one, if my memory serves me correct. But they've also gotten beaten 30-0 to Carolina and 34-10 to Miami. So this team has been all over the place this season. I do think, again, I'm not picking them to win the game, but cover 7.5 points, I think it's very doable. And Indiana's a great team. They just got Sauce Gardner, obviously. I think this is a big public backing team. Everyone's going to love Indianapolis in this spot. International game, Daniel Jones. This offense has been great all year long, but I do think Atlanta, defensively, they are good enough to at least make Daniel Jones a little uncomfortable. They do bring a lot of pressure. Very good at defending the pass, although their run defense leaves something to be desired. The big thing is what version of the Falcons offense is going to show up here. I know they just got Sauce Gardner, but I don't think he's going to make that much of an impact right away. So Atlanta should be able to get something going with both the passing game and the run game here. Again, not picking them to win, just saying I think Atlanta here, international game, it kind of levels the playing field a bit, and they can hang around and keep this game within a touchdown. So that's my first pick, Atlanta plus 7.5. For my second pick in today's video, we're moving on to the regular 1 p.m. slate. We have Jaguars at Texans. I'm going with the under here, 39.5. Now, the actual line is 37.5. It's a very low line, and for good reason, obviously. But I'm adding a couple points. They're making it a little better, 39.5. Which again, I'm grabbing for minus 144 Novik, so not the best value spot here. This is one of those games you don't watch unless you're a fan of the two teams. Maybe in the if you have a quad screen, this is in your quad screen. I'd be a little disappointed if I'm being honest. This is an ugly game. No CJ Stroud for Houston. They have Davis Mills in. Jacksonville going against an elite Texans defense. I don't really see a lot going well offensively for either side in this game. The Texans are cashing unders this year at a 63% hit rate. The Jaguars more overs, but we have seen 2 of the last 3 games the unders hit. Referring to the dashboard over on Guy Boston Sports, you have a Jaguars team that's just okay, and the DVOA rankings just kind of indicate they are okay. 17th overall ranked in DVOA, 19th offensively, 16th defensively. Again, they're perfectly fine. They're okay. They're mediocre. The Texans actually do rank in the top 10 because their defense is so damn good. Number 1 ranked defense in the NFL in terms of DVOA, and that's why I think the under is a good spot here. Okay, their defense is so good that the Jaguars' offense, which is again 19th in DVOA, they're going to struggle to score points. But then the Jaguars' defense, which is fine against a Texans offense that's 22nd in DVOA with a backup quarterback in, I just don't see a lot of points happening here, if I'm being honest. I know the line's low. I look at the head-to-head recent history of these teams. They played once already this year back on September 21st, and the undercast, that was at full strength, by the way. That was with Stroud and Lawrence going head-to-head. It was 17-10. You see 23-20. The actual under has hit in 3 consecutive games. The actual line that we have for this game of 39.5 has cashed in 1 of the last 3, but again, 1-0 so far this year. The insights provided by Outlier also tell us the under has hit in 7 of the Texans' last 9 games. So I know the line's low. I honestly don't see how points get scored in this game. This is not a watchable game for me, but I do like the under here at 39.5. All right, guys, our third pick in today's video and our third pick in our third and long category, we have Saints at Panthers, 1 p.m. kickoff on Sunday. I do like New Orleans here, plus 6.5 on the spread, which I am grabbing for minus 134 on Novig. Better value compared to the last couple plays. Now, look, this spot is more about fading the Carolina Panthers more than it is betting the Saints, who are not a very good team, and they just trade away Rashid Shaheed, so their offense should be even worse than it already was. But this is about fading Carolina. This is the first time in 10 weeks that the Panthers have been favored in an NFL game. There's a reason for that. I know they're 5-4. They've been impressive. They have some really good wins. They're coming off a massive win against the Packers, but that's why this is a very big letdown spot. You just beat Green Bay. Massive win. You're favored for the first time. 6.5-point favorites? Now, the line has changed a little bit. I think it's 5.5 now. But 5.5-point favorite, now, we can get at 6.5. When you haven't been a favorite all year, you look at the numbers, even though they've won 5 games this season and they're 5-4, they've covered minus 6.5 in just 22% of their games, okay? Twice. They beat Atlanta 30-0, and they beat the Jets 13-6. That's it. Every other game, in win or loss, they have not covered 6.5 points. So, I know it's New Orleans. These are division rivalry games. The NFC South, I don't think this is going to be a big blowout game. Now, last year's tough because the Saints were in a different circumstance. They did have Derek Carr. Obviously, that first game, 47-10, that's when we thought the Saints were going to be good. They obviously weren't. But even the latter matchup, when those injuries started to happen and Derek Carr wasn't Superman anymore, it was a 1-point loss for the Saints, but they obviously kept it close. Again, not picking money line here. I'm just saying, in this spot, NFC South rivalry, these games typically are a little bit closer. Carolina, I know they're at home, but they haven't been favored at any point this year. They're coming off a very emotional win over the Packers in Lambeau. I think this is going to be a tighter game than most think. Saints plus 6.5, in my opinion, is a very good spot. All right, guys, and our fourth pick in today's video and our final pick in the third and long category. Whoops, I'm going to change the pick there. Comes from the Bears-Giants game, 1 p.m. kickoff on Sunday, and I am going with the Bears here on the spread, -4.5, which I am grabbing for -102 over on Novig, so pretty good value here on this play. Now, although the Bears are covering the spread at a 63% rate this year, which obviously is very good, this particular line of -4.5, only a 38% hit rate, so not very good. This Bears offense is getting better. That's the one key thing to know here, right? They are getting more comfortable in the Ben Johnson offense. They scored 47 points last week. Granted, the Bengals have a horrific defense, but 47 points, they're looking good offensively. The Bears have now scored 25 or more points in 6 of their last 7 games. I believe I read that correctly. Sorry, 5 of their last 6 games. They have scored at least 25 points. So you're starting to see the offense pick up. Caleb Williams, this entire unit getting more comfortable in the Ben Johnson system. The problem, their defense is not very good. Look at the numbers right now. The 6th best scoring offense in the NFL, 10th in passing yards per game, 2nd in rushing yards per game. On the flip side, defensively, though, 29th in scoring. This defense is not good. Joe Flacco threw for 470 yards. Basically a geriatric through 470 yards. Go over the dashboard at Guy Boston Sports, and again, you see the Bears 17th offensive. They're getting better. 14th in the passing DVOA, 8th in rushing DVOA. Problem is, defensively, they're 27th. Bears 27th defensive DVOA, but the thing here, though, is that the Giants are really bad. Okay, 24th in total DVOA. Actually, only one spot ahead the Bears, surprisingly. But 24th offensively DVOA, 28th defensively. And that's the thing. Everyone keeps talking about the Giants' defense. Their defense. They're not really good defensively. They're one of the worst defenses in the NFL. Worst run defense in the league, which obviously is a very big problem. We go back to this screen here. You look at the matchup here. The Bears, again, like we said, 2nd best team in the NFL in terms of rushing yards per game. The Giants, 31st. 2nd worst defense. So 2 completely opposite ends of the spectrum going toe-to-toe here. Their defense is not good. They have the pass rush, fine. But the Bears' offensive line has been much better. They improved in the offseason. This is top 10 in sacks allowed, top 10 QB hits on the good side, not the bad side, right? Top 5 yards per play. I just don't see where the Giants move the ball here. And I know the Bears' defense is bad, and I made the joke about Joe Flacco being a geriatric, but at least they have Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Chase Brown and weapons. The Giants right now are a mess. I mean, they lost Cam Scatterbo, but look at their offense. They have rookie Jackson Dart, who I will give all the credit in the world. Dart has looked amazing. Okay, the offensive line's been better for him, which obviously has helped. He's been handed a raw deal. Malik Neighbors goes down. Cam Scatterbo goes down. Wan'Dale Robinson, Darius Slayton, and Bo Collins is not enough to beat many teams, including a bad Bears defense, right? I just don't think the Giants have enough off. And they gave a good fight, like the Niners game last week. Did the Giants lose by 10? Yes. But they put up a hell of a fight in that game. I just think ultimately the Bears, the way their offense is cooking right now, the way the Giants can only keep this up for so long before they just finally bottom out. I like the Bears a lot in this spot. For -4.5, especially for almost even odds, the value is certainly there. All right, guys, that concludes the first segment, 3rd and long. We now move on to the second set of picks here. Our second category of 4, we have 2nd down and short. Again, all the picks I like, but these picks I'm a little bit more confident than the last group of 4. So our 5th pick in today's video and our first pick in the 2nd and short category, we have Browns-Jets, 1 p.m. kickoff. Yes, this is in my 2nd tier of confidence rankings. The Cleveland Browns team total over 19.5 points, which I am grabbing for -118 over on Novig. I know what most of you are thinking. What the hell? This is in the higher tier? This team has only cashed this over once this year. The Cleveland Browns have only scored more than 17 points once all season. It was versus Miami. They had 31 points a couple weeks back. They're averaging 15.75 points per game on the season. The Browns, I believe, are the lowest scoring team in the NFL. No, there's 2 teams, believe it or not, that are worse than Cleveland. But the Browns are definitely there. 30th in the NFL in terms of points per game. This is not a very good offense. 28th rushing yards per game, 29th passing yards. I mean, look at these numbers. The only number they rank in the top 20 for offense is red zone efficiency. They're 19th. And then turnovers are tied for 17th, 1.2. They literally are outside the top 20 in every offensive category except for those 2. This offense stinks. So why am I betting their team total over here? First and foremost, the line's obviously low. 20 points in 2025 should not be that crazy to get. But if you're the Cleveland Browns, it's difficult. They've actually gone over 19.5 just 4 times in the last year and a half. Last year, they did it 3 times total. This year, they did it once. So very bad numbers for Cleveland. But you're facing the Jets, a team that wasn't good defensively to begin with. And now you lose Quentin Williams. You lose Sauce Gardner. You think these numbers are going to get better for the Jets? Because I'm going to tell you right now, they're not. I know Gardner wasn't playing the best this year, but their pass defense was 11th. That's going to drop. Their run defense is going to drop. Their pass rush wasn't good to begin with. It's going to drop. Like the Jets defense was already very bad. It's going to get a lot worse. They're bottoming out now. Again, I get it. All right. If you guys don't want to put a lot of money on this pick, put your faith in the Cleveland Browns. I completely understand that. But for the value standpoint, 20 points against the Jets defense is giving up nearly 28 points per game. 20 points would actually be an improvement for the Jets in this spot. So the Browns, who are, by the way, off a bye week, and extra week of prep for rookie Dylan Gabriel, they do have Quinshon Judkins in that running game, okay? I think they should be able to score some points here. Whether it be off of turnovers, whether it be off of Judkins' couple touchdowns, maybe Dylan Gabriel has a breakout game. This is the defense to do it against. But I do like the Browns to score 20 points in this spot. All right, guys, moving on. Our sixth pick in today's video and our second pick in our second and short category. We have Cardinals at Seahawks, 4:05 p.m. kickoff. I am rocking with the under here, 45.5, which I'm grabbing for -105 over on DraftKings. I do also kind of lean Cardinals plus 7.5 here, but I do like the under a little bit more. The Cardinals obviously been covering the under at a very high rate, 63% cover rate this season. Seattle actually a lot more overs than unders. That's because they themselves have been scoring a healthy amount of points here. But the way I see this game, look, Seattle's defense, I can sit here and glaze them all day long. Pause. They are very good, right? Second best run defense, 18th against the pass. That's kind of the weaker side. Their pass defense not as strong. But top 5 scoring, they got a good pass rush. I can go on for days, right? They're going to be able to hold the Cardinals offense at bay, which they have Jacoby Brissett, which is not a joke. They've been pretty good with Brissett. 27 versus the Cowboys, 23 versus the Packers, 27 versus the Colts. Since they benched Kyler, Jacoby Brissett's been making this offense look way better, okay? They do have a semi-competent offense right now. That being said, they're running into a buzzsaw with Seattle, okay? This is the toughest defense they've played, and that includes Green Bay, over the last while. These teams already have met once this year, also back on September 25th, and this game was 23-20, so the under did hit the last time they played. As a matter of fact, 2 of the last 3 times they played dating back to last season, this under cashed. We also have the insights provided by Outlier. The under has hit in 6 of the Cardinals' last 8 games as an underdog, okay? A lot of numbers pointing to the under. The key thing to look at here is, can Arizona's defense slow down Seattle's offense? That's the key to this under hitting. I think they can. I mean, I know Seattle, especially coming off that Sunday football game, which admittedly I had completely wrong. I keep fading the Seahawks. I probably shouldn't, but I think the under is a good play. Whether it be because Seattle scores all the points and Arizona scores none, or Arizona keeps the game tight, these NFC South divisional games typically are bloodbaths. They're usually tight, gritty games. We've already seen one between these two this year. It was 23-20. Tight battle. I think you can see something in that same ballpark. Or maybe Seattle carries the scoring load and Arizona only scores like 10 points. Who knows? I just think you're going to see a lower scoring game here. A little bit of sharp action on the under. So I like the under here at 45.5. And for -105, clearly a high value spot. All right, guys, our 7th pick in today's category and our 3rd pick in the second and short. Our 7th pick overall. Guys, this is my 3rd video of the day already. I got 2 more to do, all right? We're balling here, okay? 3rd pick of the second and short category, 7th pick overall. We have Eagles at Packers. This is the Monday Night Football game, and I do like the Eagles on the money line. Very simply, first and foremost, you're giving me the Philadelphia Eagles off a bye week, the reigning Super Bowl champions, who are still very good, at plus money against a Packers team that just lost to the Panthers last week. Yeah, I'll take the Eagles here. We're grabbing them for plus 109 over on Novik. Best odds available to me. Look, I'm not saying Green Bay's a bad team. They are a good team. I picked them to go to the Super Bowl over the Eagles this year, right? I have way too many question marks on the offense, and the Eagles just revamped the defense. Howie Roseman deserves all the credit. This defense looked a little weak in some places, so he said, let me go ahead and improve that. Let me go ahead and make some trades, go make some deals, and strengthen our depth, strengthen the defense. They're off the bye week. We saw last season what happened off the bye week. They went on this great run all the way to the Super Bowl win. So seeing what happened last year after the bye week, coming off the bye at Lambeau, Monday Night Packers again coming off a really tough loss. I'm sorry, this Green Bay team, even defensively, like they're fine. They're good. You know, their pass rush obviously is the key to this, but you know, they don't really force many turnovers. Teams have been able to score on them. I mean, the Steelers scored 25, the Cardinals 27, the Cowboys scored 40. Like I said, I'm not trying to crap only on the Packers. They are a good team, but offensively, I have way too many question marks. They lose Tucker Kraft now for the year, which is a massive loss. They didn't have many offensive weapons to begin with in the passing game, and they lost arguably the second best, maybe even the number 1 most important player in the passing game is gone. Granted, they still have Luke Musgrave, who isn't bad, but he's not Tucker Kraft. So I just think the Packers offense, which is already struggling to begin with, now you lose Tucker Kraft against an Eagles team that has revamped the defense a little bit. They've strengthened it. They put in some new work. And you got an Eagles offense that come off the bye should be a little better. They obviously have their own issues, but I think the Eagles can win this game. You're giving me the Eagles at plus money. I think this might be the only time all year you're getting the Eagles at plus money. So I'll take that value there for plus 109. It's a coin flip game. The last time these two teams, the Eagles have won each of the last two. They played twice last year, regular season and playoff. You could argue there's a little extra motivation for the Packers in a revenge spot there, but I do think the Eagles here, who have dominated them recently, should go ahead and win this one again. So I like the Eagles here. Money line at plus 109. All right, guys, our 8th pick overall and our 4th and final pick in the second and short category. We have Bills-Dolphins, 1 p.m. kickoff on Sunday. And yeah, Buffalo minus 9.5. I'm not really overthinking this one too much. It's my plus 104. You're actually getting for plus money, plus 104 over on Novig. Buffalo kind of got their groove back. They had a little bit of a rough spell. They lost to New England. They lost to Atlanta. Then they had the bye week. They crushed Carolina. They beat Kansas City. Now we got Buffalo back where they're supposed to be. Miami, they had that huge win versus the Falcons. Everyone kind of seemed like, wow, maybe they have something to cook here. And then they get blown up by the Ravens. So this is still a bad Dolphins team. You're not convincing me otherwise. The Bills have traditionally dominated this rivalry. Now, to be fair, the Dolphins have covered the spread in both of the last two matchups, okay? Normally, you go back to like 3 years ago, the Bills were killing them every time. And you do see last year on September 12th, they destroyed them 31-10. The Bills, by the way, insight provided by Outlier, are 6-3 against the spread in their last 9 games versus bottom 10 scoring defenses. Miami, obviously, not a very good defense at all. And they just traded away Jalen Phillips, which doesn't make things easier for them. However, we look just specifically this line of 9.5. They already played once this year, and the Bills did beat them by 10. So do the same thing this time around. You're good to go. The Dolphins are in worse shape now than they were back then. At least back then, they still had Tyreek. You still had Jalen Phillips. You still had some hope early in the season. Now you're 2-7. You started trading away pieces. You've got injuries. I just don't see this going well for Miami. So Buffalo minus 9.5. They covered it 2 of the last 3 times they played. Again, I just don't see it going well for Miami here. So Buffalo minus 9.5 or plus money too. Come on, you got to give me that. I know I didn't really need to go through any numbers here, but right here, number 1 rushing offense against the 3rd worst run defense in terms of yards per game. That right there should be enough to go ahead and tell you this is going to be a big Bills victory. All right, guys, we have 1 category left, 4 more picks before we finish up with our parlays and teasers. But first, before we do that, a quick word from the sponsor of today's video, Novig. Guys, if you have not dabbled into peer-to-peer exchanges, you are absolutely missing out. Using Novig allows you to get unbeatable prices and lines on just about every game. Why? Because there's other users who are setting these lines. They're setting the odds. You're competing with the other users, not the big books. As you can see from this video, the majority of my 8 plays thus far, Novig have given me the best odds on a lot of those plays. It's really a great tool. It's a really great sports book. Peer-to-peer is growing at a crazy rate, and you guys don't want to be late to this. Sign up for Novig today using the link down below in the description as well as in the pinned comment. Bet $5 and get $50 in bonus bets. Check it out. It operates just like your normal sports book, just with better lines. Again, I've been using Novig for the entire NFL season. Honestly, it's been a huge boost in value for me. I've won a lot of extra money thanks to using Novig's lines versus other sportsbooks lines. So make sure to go ahead and check them out. Shout out to Novig for sponsoring today's video. All right, guys, our 3rd and final category for our straight bets here is first and goal. These are my 4 favorite picks in this Week 10 NFL slate. And we're starting off here with our first pick in this category, our 9th pick overall. And I hate to do this as a Patriots fan, but I love the Bucs this weekend. Give me Tampa Bay here on the spread minus 2.5, which I'm grabbing for minus 108 over on Novig. Again, shout out to Novig, sponsor of today's video. I love my Patriots, and Drake May's been incredible, and we've been on a great run, but we have to be fair. New England has not beaten many good teams. The Buffalo win is the only one where you're like, yeah, that's great. That's a great win. But you beat up on the Saints, you beat up on the Titans, the Browns, and last week, I said it earlier when I talked about the Falcons game, the Patriots should have lost that game. They started off really good, and then the second half of that Falcons game was an absolute disaster for New England. Now, they have been a 67% cover team this year in terms of the overall spread. This line of plus 2.5, they've covered in 78% of their games, including, if I count this correctly, I believe that's 7 consecutive or 6 consecutive games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, during the winning streak. So 6 straight games. Tampa Bay also, though, a very good cover team. 63% cover rate against the spread here. The Bucs, as the insight provided by Outlier tells us, the Buccaneers are 6-0 against the spread in their last 6 games versus top 10 scoring defenses. And there's just a lot of red flags with New England. They're a good team. They're on the right path. I think they're going to be great for a lot of years with Drake May. But this is year 1 of the Vrabel era, and they've been ahead of schedule there are key weaknesses that I've seen. All right, first and foremost, they have some injuries here. Now, so don't the Bucs, obviously. No Mike Evans, among a number of other injuries. A lot of game-time decision stuff with Chris Godwin and Bucky Irving. But New England's without Ramondre Stevenson again. They're without Kayshon Boutte again. Boutte being, I think, the second most important receiver on this team this year. And then Ramondre obviously being RB1. This is not great, okay? Losing your top running back and your second-best wide receiver this year for this big-time matchup on the road in Tampa against a Bucs team that, by the way, is off the bye week. Not very good. And then beyond that, okay, the pass rush for New England has not been where it needs to be. So they're not getting as much pressure as you'd like to see. On the flip side, the pass defense for New England leaves a lot to be desired. I'm not sure. Let me see what the injury report says for Christian Gonzalez right now. He's not on the report. Okay, so Gonzalez is going to play, so that's big. That's big for them. But obviously, their pass defense has left something to be desired. 19th right now in passing yards allowed per game. And if we go over the dashboard over on Guy Boston Sports, we go down to New England, Tampa Bay real quick. By the way, check out the dashboard in the link down below in the description here. You see New England's DVOA defensively, okay, 28th in pass DVOA. Defensively. Not good. Okay, clearly not good. Also, and the Bucs don't get enough credit for this. They have a top 10 defense, 7th pass defense in terms of DVOA, 5th run defense in terms of DVOA. And going back to the outlier screen, this point right here is huge. The Bucs tied for 12th in sacks, tied for 1st in QB hits. New England's offensive line, which has been better the last few weeks, has really looked rough. They've given up, I think, at least 5 sacks in each of the last 3 games. Granted, we look at the teams they played. Cleveland, Myles Garrett had a field day, but Tennessee got pressure. Atlanta got pressure. So there's just some weaknesses and some red flags. They also forced a lot of turnovers, which New England offensively, this side, tied for 5th turnovers forced. New England tied for 17th turnovers given up, right? Just a lot of numbers. I think this is going to be a good measuring stick game to see just how good the Patriots are, but I do like Tampa Bay in this spot. And again, for a -108 on Novig, the value is certainly there. The Bucs are the better team at home, off the bye. So many advantages for them in this spot. And I do trust Baker Mayfield. If the game is close, I trust Baker right now more than I do Drake May, which I don't think is crazy to say at this point in their career. All right, guys, our 10th pick overall and our second pick in the first and goal category, we have Rams-Niners, 4:25 p.m. kickoff on Sunday. I have the Rams here -3.5 on the spread, which I'm grabbing for -130 over on FanDuel. Best odds available to me. The Rams have been very good this season. One of the few losses they had was back in October 2nd versus this same Niners team. Now, normally speaking, the Rams have actually been the better side. Last year, they won both matchups. They won at the Niners 12-6. The first time they won 27-24 at home in LA. I wish we could get this for 2.5, but obviously the odds are not worth it from a value standpoint, so we have to take 3.5. Taking the hook, which I don't love because, as you can see, 2 of the last 3 matchups against the Niners, the Rams failed to cover -3.5. But obviously, losing that game early in the season, this is a bit of a revenge spot for the Rams here. The Niners, obviously, we know all the injuries. We don't have to really list the laundry list of injuries they have. I'm not sure as of right now. We can double check here. Brock Purdy, what his status is. They've already looked like announced that Mac Jones is going to be the starting quarterback. So they're going with Mac Jones again here, who did play pretty well against the Rams last time out here. I think this is a big revenge spot here. This is going to be a tight game, a close game. However, the Niners are 6-12 against the spread in their last 18 games. Not a very good cover team. The Niners defense is still playing well despite injuries, but their pass defense against this Rams passing off, especially the last couple weeks, Matt Stafford has been slinging that thing. I think the Niners are going to struggle. They don't have much of a pass rush anymore without Nick Bosa. If you can't put pressure on Matt Stafford, you give him time to sit back there and throw, he's going to burn you. I think that the Niners beat him last time. It was a very impressive result. That was over a month ago. The Niners have had way more injuries since then. The Niners defense looks a lot different than it did back on October 2nd. And to be fair, the Niners still have had some great results. They beat Atlanta. They beat the Giants. They got beat pretty bad by Houston and Tampa Bay. But, I just think this is, again, it has to come to a point where the Niners injuries do matter. And yes, they're well coached. And yes, they still have plenty of talent despite the injuries. But the Rams are the better team. They're one of the best teams in the NFL. I know it's on the road here, but I think the Rams should go ahead and win this one against a Niners team that is admirably still standing, but I do think this is a tough spot for them. All right, guys, my 11th pick in today's video and my third pick in the first and goal category. We got Lions Commanders, 4:25 p.m. kickoff, and I got the Lions here -6.5, which I'm grabbing for -143 over on Novig. I put my faith in Washington on Sunday Football, and they embarrassed me. And I'm not just fading them here because of that, but obviously Jaden Daniels not playing. The injuries are just becoming really tough to overcome, especially because they need Jaden Daniels out there. He's out. Really rough spot here for them. Obviously, Terry McLaurin still out. They lose. Look at the injury list there for them. It's crazy. You got a Lions team who is clearly motivated. Remember the last time they played was in that playoffs. Detroit had Super Bowl aspirations. They were at home. The Commanders, they walked in and crapped on them. For like a pigeon on a stone. 45-31. If you don't think Dan Campbell is firing these guys up, this is the team that ruined their season. Granted, I understand they're injured, but they're going to come in here and they're going to lay a can of whoop ass. Open a can of whoop ass. I don't know how you lay a can. Open a can of whoop ass on this Commanders team. They're not going to care that they're banged up. They're going to look to crucify them here, and I think they will do just that. We have the insights provided by Outlier. The Lions are 8-3 against the spread in their last 11 games on the road, so great on the road. The Lions, in general, 63% cover rate this season. They are coming off a really rough loss to the Vikings as well. So you mix the fact they're coming off that embarrassing loss to the Vikings. They obviously have some leftover trauma from this Commanders team that beat them in the playoffs. I think Detroit's going to roll here for 7 points. When they have Mariota in there, I think Detroit's going to go ahead and kill this Commanders team. It's worth the value. This is the second best scoring offense in the NFL. We've seen Washington's defense. They got beat down bad. 38 points allowed to the Seahawks last week. 28 points to the Chiefs. 44 to the Cowboys. At some point, we have to acknowledge this defense is really bad, and the Lions should go ahead and score 50 in this game. So I think the Lions roll here, -6.5. Very good play. All right, guys, my 12th and final single bet in today's video, and our final pick in the first and goal category. We have Ravens and Vikings, 1 p.m. kickoff. I am rocking with Baltimore here, -4.5. I think the Ravens, obviously, the pressure's on for them. Although it's on, but it's not. Like, they're 3-5, and I know the attitude is they have to win out, but they really don't. The AFC is tough, but like there's that top 4 or 5 teams, and then the next level, there's a lot of teams that could lose a lot of games. That being said, you don't want to run any chances here. So I think the Ravens, obviously, a lot of pressure to win out. Minnesota coming off a massive win versus the Lions last week after getting clobbered by the Chargers the week before. The Lions coming off of 2 very big wins over the Bears and the Dolphins, and with Lamar Jackson being back, the offense looks good again. Obviously, a very real test here at Minnesota against a Vikings defense that's pretty damn good. But guys, the Ravens defense is getting better. Okay, they're getting better defensively, and you still, I'm not hyping in. I'm not buying into the JJ McCarthy hype just yet. Let's wait and see. I know he played very well, or well enough, I should say, to beat the Lions. But this is a different category. Baltimore coming in here motivated with some momentum here. I know defensively they are very good, but I think Lamar obviously can give this defense a scare. And then on the flip side, I just don't trust J.J. McCarthy enough to win a game like this just yet. Although he did last week versus the Lions, so maybe I'm wrong, but I just trust Baltimore a little more in this spot. And for plus 105 on Nova, you're getting plus money for this play. The value is too good to go ahead and pass up here. That's our 12th and final pick in our single bet category, our 4th and final pick in our first and goal category. And now to wrap up the show, guys, we have parlays and teasers. Starting off with our parlays here. We're giving out 3 parlays in today's video, and we're using DraftKings for these parlays. All right, guys, our first of 3 parlays in today's video. Again, we're using DraftKings for the parlays. It's a simple one. We have Bucs money line, Lions money line, and Rams money line, what I'm calling my favorite favorites. These are my 3 favorite money line plays in terms of the favorites for the Week 10 NFL slate. Again, I really love Tampa Bay against New England. I think Detroit destroys Washington. And I like the Rams here to beat the Niners in the second time they battled this year. It's a 3-leg parlay, plus 189. Not a ton of value in terms of, you're not going to, unless you put a lot down, you're not going to, buy a house off of this one. But it's a nice little easy parlay, 3 money lines, and it's for plus 189. Good value enough. Next up, guys, we have our Hungry Dog parlay. These are my 3 favorite underdog money lines in the Week 10 NFL slate. We have the Steelers money line here on Sunday Night Football. A little spoiler alert for my Sunday Night Football picks video that's coming out, obviously, tomorrow on Sunday. We have the Eagles money line on Monday Night Football. Again, I already talked about that one. That's my straight bet category as well. And then Falcons money line. I don't know what it is, but I just feel like the nation is all in love with the Colts right now. They just got Sauce Gardner, but I think in Germany, that game could be a lot closer than people think. And maybe Atlanta, who a lot of people are down on, maybe, just maybe, they shock the entire world, including all those in Berlin, Germany. So those 3 legs, you parlay them all together. It's a 3-leg parlay plus 1,479 odds. All right, guys, our 3rd and final parlay in today's video. I'm calling this one Calling Our Shot. By the way, shout out to Calling Our Shot, good friends of the channel. These are teams where these teams are all, well, except for the Eagles, favorites. But I'm changing them to alternate lines in the opposite direction. So instead of being like a teaser where we're taking away points to make it more valuable, we're adding more. So in this case, to kind of clarify what I'm talking about here. The Lions, obviously, they're 7.5-point favorites. I'm taking them here at minus 13.5. I think they're going to kill the Commanders. I'm putting my money where my mouth is there and picking them to win that game by 2 touchdowns or more. Eagles, I think they're going to win that game, and they're going to win it handily. So I have them minus 6.5 here to beat the Packers by a touchdown. And then Tampa, same thing. I think they're going to beat New England pretty handily. I have them beating the Patriots by a touchdown here. So you parlay all three of those together, you get a parlay of plus 2,115 odds. All right, guys, wrapping up with our 3 teasers here. Our first of 3 teasers. I don't really have a name for this one. It's just the 3 picks I like a lot in a teaser here. We'll call it my favorite teaser. It's a 7-point. Let's go ahead and adjust that here. 7-point teaser. 3-leg teaser, 7-point teaser, excuse me. Plus 120 odds on DraftKings. We're taking the Bills from 9.5 to 2.5, the Lions from 8.5 to 1.5, and the Steelers from plus 3 to plus 10. I expect them to win that game, honestly, or at least keep within 3, but 10 points, definitely should go ahead and cash that. Again, 3-leg teaser, 7-point tease, plus 120 odds. Next up, guys, we have our total tease. These are 3-leg teaser, 7-point tease, plus 120 odds, all totals here. We have the under in the Brown-Jets game, adding a touchdown, making it 44.5. The under in the Jaguars-Texans game, adding a touchdown, making it 44.5. And the under in the Cardinals-Seahawks game, adding a touchdown, making it 52.5. So you parlay our tease, all 3 of those, 3-leg teaser, 7-point tease, plus 120 odds over on DraftKings. And last but not least, guys, the big tease. Comment big tease down below. And if this teaser hits, one lucky commenter win a free $25 Amazon gift card. I think this is cashed in I think we did 8 Oracle videos so far because we missed 1 week. I think it's cashed in 7 of 8 games. So we're just handing out money at this point, guys. Give me this teaser. Comment big tease down below for your chance to win. 4-leg teaser, 13-point tease, minus 140 odds on DraftKings. Bills plus 3.5. They can lose the game now as long as they keep within a field goal. We should be good to go. Bucs plus 10.5. They can lose to the Patriots. Just keep within 10 points. We're good to go. Lions plus 4.5. Same principle, guys. They can lose now as long as they keep it close. We're good. And Rams plus 7.5. So all these teams would I like to win outright. We're not picking them basically to just keep the game within a score, whether it be 3 points, 7 points, 10 points. Keep it relatively close, and we should go ahead and cash this one. Again, it's a 4-leg teaser, 13-point tease, minus 140 odds. So guys, that is it for me today. Thank you very much, as always, for watching. One more time, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. We'll be back next week with another edition of the NFL Oracle. But until then, guys, I hope you're all winners. Let's go ahead and make some money.